Hey, fight fans, look back to Carl Prusa MMA. Today I'm with a special guest, my best game, ready to fight in the main event for Tuff-N-Uff on Saturday. Take on Alex Pollizzi. He is Mr. Adam Vigil. Adam, what's going on, my friend? How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Doing good, man. So already 2 days before the fight, about to do the final weight cuts and everything,
Yep.
man. Last minute opponent change here. Originally, you're supposed to fight Joel Bauman about 3 weeks ago. Pelosi got introduced. What was that whole dynamic like?
Yeah, I'm not too sure what happened with Joel, and I hope he's okay. Injury, and I never want to hear anybody get an injury or anything like that. And I'm not sure the circumstances, but they pulled in somebody else, Alex Pollizzi, which is a huge opponent for me, which I loved to death. And I think he's number 50 in the world. Fought for the PFL 7 times, or wait, 3 times or something like that. Bellator as well, LFA world champion. So this is the opponent that I want to get the recognition that I need, 100%. So nothing but love and respect to this guy, but this is the fight that I want.
Absolutely. Following that victory over Fury FC when you won the title against Ty Werder, you moved up to 205. What was that decision? The decision beside that?
Well, I almost died. You know what I mean? Cutting down to 185, cutting from 240 down to 185. It was really tough on me, man. And we really had to make a lot of changes in my lifestyle. Took some hits on my liver, kidneys, and thyroid and things like that, my whole entire body. And the quality of life was just horrible. I wasn't able to enjoy fight camp, you know what I mean? So at least when we're at 205s, I could enjoy life a little bit better and have some fun in there, work on some things and grow and learn as a fighter and as a man.
Absolutely. So many people are watching mixed martial arts in this day and age. Very few people understand the life of a professional fighter. I think they get caught up in like the Conor McGregors and the Habibs and see the money, the fortune behind it. They don't see, man, to be a professional fighter, it's one of the hardest lives ever. When you're fighting on the regional scene, you're not making millions of dollars. A lot of guys have to have the 9-to-5 job. You miss birthdays, weddings, Thanksgivings, dinners. Yeah. You sacrifice everything maybe for the opportunity to fight in a big show. You've been doing this for such a long time, man. What's made you want to get into it, and what's made you want to stick in through it all these years?
Man, fighting saved my life. So, I own a concrete company, Unbreakable Concrete, as well as, landscaping company, but we also own Unbreakable Ministries. That's where my heart is. You know what I mean? I got sober 4 years ago, and by the grace of God, I'm here today. I gave my life to Jesus Christ, man, and I want to give the same thing to other people where they don't feel they have hope or inspiration, man, to know that, I was a knucklehead growing up. You know what I mean? So many bad decisions to say the least. You know what I mean? And I felt like I was lost. I had no hope. I had nothing left. And then I got sober and gave my life to the Lord. And man, God has done so many amazing things in and through my life. So we're here to build people up and show them that there's a way. You know what I mean? And give them, our pillars are faith, family, and fitness. And that's exactly it. My faith in God the Father, fitness, obviously, as an MMA fighter, but as well as family. And family is a lot more than just blood. You know what I mean? A family, a lot of people say, man, I don't have no blood family out here. Well, we welcome you in because there's a community of people here that love you and want to show you that. And through fitness, we're able to give them, rewire that brain and show them there's another way.
Absolutely. You've been doing this for a very long time. Your amateur contest dating back since around 2013. People don't realize, man, 15, 20 years ago, this is the wild, wild west. This isn't what it was today. When you first started getting on board here, early promotions, you ever fight outside, mystery opponents, bars, barns? Do you have anything crazy?
Yeah, growing up, like I said, I was a knucklehead. So obviously grew up fighting in the streets and that's all I knew. You know what I mean? So even going back into the bare knuckle world after this is something that I'm interested in. But yeah, it was very unorthodox to say the least, growing up in those scenes. We would fight at, the Grizzly Rose with some of these shows where we're walking and slapping hands with the crowd and then go fight in the center of a crowd, you know what I mean? And people don't understand that. I fought like 4 times in 7 weeks. Had 1 week off. I fought back-to-back weeks, and then I fought again in 2 weeks. And people don't understand that. The commission doesn't let you do that now, thank God. But it was a whole different time back then. So yeah.
Absolutely. You've been doing some great things on the regional scene. You're one of the top prospects out there. At 36 years old, man, you keep going bigger and bigger. Obviously for you winning that Fury title against Ty Werder last year. Overall, man, what was that moment like? What was that moment to go through all the sacrifices and add another professional championship to your resume?
Man, it was surreal. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know that I had 2 torn labrums 5 days before the fight either. So we were going to pull out of the fight. And well, the coaches, some of them knew, but I had no other option to me. You know what I mean? It was now or never, right? The time is now. And so seizing the moment is actually what we did. You know what I mean? And I knew that the God within me can beat anything. You know what I mean? Even with two torn labrums, with a weight cut cutting from 230 down to 185, man, I was feeling drained. But we went out there against a tough opponent, but nothing but love and respect to Ty Gordner and his camp. And we went and put a show, and then 25-minute fight with that man, who's a beast. I mean, you can see by the end of the fight, man, I was kind of lumped up, man. But it was that 25 minutes was some of the best things I ever went through. You know what I mean? The toughest fight, and man, it was a beautiful thing, man. And just to add to the legacy of what we're doing, to the all the hard work that we put in, me and our fight camp, and man, it was just it was a beautiful time. You know what I mean? And to put a stamp on that, to come home with a world title was as beautiful, as well as come after this one as well.
Do you think fighting is more mental than it is physical?
100%. Absolutely. The physical part is easy for me. Overcoming the mental battles, that's what I'm here to show. You know what I mean? Because I see, we have a youth boxing program, right? And we bring these kids in and give them a free boxing program. But we're here to build them up as young men and women for the next generation. And when they overcome those battles, you see new light in their eyes, right? They're overcoming those personal battles. The world might have told them they couldn't do it, right? Just like everybody in my life, you can't do this, you can't do that. You're 36, you're over. You know what I'm saying? Like all these things. You know what I mean? And I hear it again, but it's just add fuel to the fire, right? The pain to the purpose, right? From my mess to the message, the test to the testimony. I just watch, these people grow into who God has called them to be, and I see these kids find new light, and it's such a beautiful thing. And that's what makes me want to strive to fight every single day, man. I'm getting messages all day for the last like 6 months, but I mean, especially these last couple of weeks, kids are like, "I'm getting sober, I'm doing good because of you." You know what I'm saying? But it's really the hard work that they're putting in, right? And they believe in themselves, and that's what we want to show everybody. It's just what a beautiful opportunity, right?
Absolutely. So you're fighting on Saturday for that Tuff-N-Uff 205-pound title, taking on
Yeah.
Pollizzi here. Overall, what do you think of him as an opponent?
Oh man, he's a beast. You know what I mean? Nothing but love and respect to him. Coming out of one of the best gyms. Again, Ty Gordner came out of Couture MMA. So does Alex Pollizzi. Man, tough kid. You know what I mean? Goes out there. I guess he wrestled at uh I forget where he wrestled at, but tons of accolades as a wrestler, right? And wrestlers are always tough, especially at that caliber, who he is, fighting for. I mean, he went. I think he fought Yoel Romero, went 3 rounds with Yoel Romero. So I mean, what a tough individual. And this is the fight that I want. You know what I mean? A tough kid like this, but we're not just going in here to get our hand raised. We're going in here to put a stamp on this. And this is, if anybody knows my fight style, I'm coming in here to have fireworks and put a stamp on this. You know what I mean? And put him away quick. I know he's tough, but we're trying to show the work that we put in 100%.
You think it's a good chance someone's going to finish in this one?
I'm going to finish him. Yes.
You do take a lot of pride in your fight style, obviously. I mean, when you
Yeah.
watch your fight, it's one of the most funnest things in the world. There's no going backwards. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pace. There's a lot of going forward, man. You have very intent to hurt. It's very evident when you watch you fight. Has that just been the mentality from the get-go?
Absolutely. You know what I mean? They say, what's your defense or how do you respond? My best defense is an offense, but I'm trying, I tell my coaches this too. I try to be as methodical and systematic as I can, you know what I mean? And get a feel out. But when I get in there, I just flip that switch. You know what I mean? It's you versus me, right? And the beautiful thing, it's a world title. So it's, we're representing our people, our country, our legacy, our lineage, you know what I'm saying? Our gyms. And for me, the kingdom of God. So I'm in there to handle business. I don't get paid by the hour, so I'm going to put a stamp on this and get this over with. You know what I mean?
With a big win here, you'll have won the 205 title over Tuff-N-Uff. You'd have that 185 title at Fury. That's two huge regional promotions titles.
Yeah.
36-year-old, but what's next after that? UFC
Yeah.
coming soon?
UFC all day. You know what I mean? I'll be 12-1 with 7 finishes. You know what I mean? With 2 world titles and 2 separate weights. And we're ready. And this weight cut's going so good. I got to cut some weight here, like literally right when we get off this call. But I might even go back down to 185s. My body's just feeling good. You know what I mean? And I don't know. My coaches don't agree with it, but you know what I mean. I don't know. We'll see what we have in store. So I'm ready. Contender Series wants to call. UFC wants to call, and I'm going all out for UFC. I want UFC or nothing. You know what I mean? Because that's just what I want. I'm going after it, and I want that world title as well.
For you, what's the ultimate goal in this sport? What do you want to accomplish?
I mean, obviously, best pound for pound, you know what I mean? But really, I'm trying to leave a legacy of more than just myself, you know what I mean? What a fighter can truly be when he turns his life over and gets sober. And, maybe being the face of sobriety after this, you know what I'm saying? Taking some of those knuckleheads that were just like me and showing them that you can turn your life around. You find MMA and it's mixed martial arts. What a beautiful thing, right? And that you can dedicate your life, show discipline and hard work, and you can turn your life around, man. And there's nothing you can't do. So even, coming around, I was talking to Gilbert Burns after the LFA fight, man, and we're kind of collaborating on seeing if I can bring people in from another state into to our ministry, right? And show them that there's a new way. If you say you're going through, you got a tough upbringing, which a lot of us do, right, in the fight world. Bring you in, and right, we'll give you housing, to, bring you up and give you the best training in the world. We're training with some of the best of the world, the wrestling, the Olympic Training Center, Dunama Strength and Condition. I mean, the list goes on with the amount of people that we have around us and the support that we have. But to be the face of sobriety for the UFC is a goal for us, and it'll happen in Jesus' name. And as well as just leave a legacy of somebody that can turn his life around and give hope to people that made some decisions like I did and can turn it around.
Mixed martial arts is a wonderful thing. I've had guys come on this show before telling me before MMA, their life was going down dark role, wasn't good, changed them, provided guidance, structure to them and who they are today.
Yeah.
For you personally, I know MMA's done a lot for you, but how have you evolved and grown through the sport?
Man, I mean, I'll touch base on it, man. I was facing a life sentence, you know what I mean? And I was facing addiction, you know what I mean? Somebody, and I'm transparent about it because that's who I used to be. And if I can be transparent about some of the things that I went through and give a blueprint to hope and inspiration to somebody else, then I will. I was somebody that was shooting drugs, you know what I'm saying? And it's nothing I'm proud of. It's an embarrassing thing, but it's something that I bounced back from because that was just God's plan. You know what I mean? So if somebody else has been there, if they're listening to this podcast right now, there is hope. You know what I mean? You can turn your life around. Facing a life sentence, assault on an officer, I was out getting high, being a knucklehead. You know what I mean? Living in the flesh. And unfortunately, I got in a fight with some police officers and it was facing a life sentence. And I did a 7-year DOC sentence after that, and I thought I would never be able to fight again. But by the grace and glory of God, and I was able to fight again. We came out swinging literally, and got on the circuit, and man, I lost my first fight coming out, man, and that's when I overdosed, right? And I overdosed. I thought I would never see daylight again. But we're here today, and I've been sober ever since 2/22/22 is my sober date. And I've been sober ever since. And we just off on the races. God, anything you want me to do, I will do. You want me to serve, you want me to help kids, you want me to do anything, I'll do it. You know what I mean? The platform God has given me, thank God, is fighting. And so I would utilize this platform to the best that I can, and tell people that they can turn their life around too.
Absolutely, Adam. All right, last question for you, brother. In a perfect world, what is the outcome Saturday night when you fight a Tuff-N-Uff main event for the 205-pound title against Pollizzi?
He's going to sleep. I come out for fireworks. That's what I do every time. If anybody watches my fights, that's what I come to do. Nothing but love and respect to him. Tough opponent, strong wrestler, heavy-handed. All the wrestlers are, but we come out to put a stamp on this and put him to sleep. That's what we're gonna do.
Absolutely. Well, Adam, man, thank you so much for taking the time out of your weight cut. I know you're very busy, a lot of stuff going on, but thank you so much, and good luck to you, brother.
Thank you, brother. Have a good one.
Absolutely. That's it for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Carl Pollizzi. He's Mr. Adam Vigil. Watch him Saturday night, Tuff-N-Uff, going for that 205-pound strap when he takes on Alex Pollizzi. Take care, fight fans.